business bank accounts for small business. So right after you start your business or you create an LLC, I'm a big advocate for getting your EIN number and immediately applying for your new business bank account. Because one big key to success when you are running any business is to have accurate financial tracking and reporting. And a great way to set that up is to have a separate bank account, one that is used for business and another one that is used personally. But then, okay, you may have questions like what type of business bank accounts should you have? Exactly how many accounts do you actually need? And which banks should you consider? Well, I'm going to do my best to answer some of these questions for you because in this video, what I want to do is cover, okay, how to set up a business bank account, the types of business bank accounts that every entrepreneur should at least consider, and how to choose the best bank account for you and your business. But before I dive in, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Standberry. I'm a self-made millionaire and entrepreneur, and I'm on a mission to help people start, fund, and grow their business. As always, what I'm going to do is put the timestamps for this video somewhere down in the description below. That way you can skip to the parts that you want to learn the most about. But look, if you are a beginner, do yourself a favor and watch this entire video. Okay, let's dive in with number one. What is a business bank account and why do you need one? I'm going to go through 5 quick reasons of why you should establish a business bank account. Reason number 1, simplify your taxes. Look, it's not just me, but actually the IRS recommends that all small business owners have a separate business bank account because when you file your taxes, you are going to have to report all your business income and all your qualified business expenses to the IRS on your tax return. So having a separate business bank account allows you to reconcile everything, make it very professional and clear. Also, doing this allows you to make your quarterly estimated taxes because as a small business owner, your income is not subject to withholding taxes that W-2 employees pay. And so the IRS wants to make sure that the business owner pays their quarterly taxes every quarter. But if your business income is commingled with your personal income, this will become a nightmare when it's time to figure out how much quarterly taxes you need to pay and when it's time to file your taxes. Okay, reason number 2, more professional business transactions. Your customers and your clients are more likely to trust that you are a legitimate company if you are using your business name to take and make payments instead of using your personal name. Also, you need a business bank account in order to sign up for many credit card processors like Square, Stripe, and others so that you can take credit card payments from the sales of your products or services. Otherwise, you will go through much more hassle and pay more fees using your personal name to collect business credit card payments. Okay, reason number 3, accurate financial reporting. There can be thousands of transactions that occur when you are operating a business, like paying your people, your employees and your contractors, paying for your business software and tools, paying for advertising and marketing expenses, and a lot more. And because of this, managing your business finances can be 10 times more complicated than managing your personal finances. So you need to properly track all your transactions, and having a business bank account allows you to easily do that. Now, many small business owners, including myself, turn to using a software like QuickBooks to properly track and categorize business transactions. But the most useful thing about QuickBooks is being able to see specific financial reports such as a profit and loss or balance sheet. And these financial reports allow you to make strategic business decisions to further guide your business growth. Now, I'll put a special link down in the description below so that you can get QuickBooks at a discount if you don't have it already. Okay, moving on to reason number 4, I have record keeping. So as a business owner, you get to write off business expenses and take advantage of tax deductions that regular W-2 employees cannot take advantage of. However, you are required to substantiate that tax deduction by basically proving the expense was used for business and then have supporting documents and evidence, which is another big reason to have business bank accounts because The IRS is legally required to accept account statements and credit card statements and other forms as proof of your tax deductions. Then reason number 5, I have business credit. In the future, as your business grows, you may have a need to raise capital for more growth. And even if you don't necessarily have a need for funding right now, it may come in handy when you least expect it. And having certain business bank accounts allow you to start building up business credit, which will increase your chances of getting approved for a business loan or a business credit card in the future. Okay, so I hope you connected with at least one of those 5 reasons. Now, before I move on, if you are enjoying this video, do me a favor and click the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It goes a long way in helping this video reach more people like you who want to learn about business bank accounts. Now, shortly, I'm going to cover exactly which types of business bank accounts you should consider setting up and why. But first, let's move on to number 2, how to set up a business bank account. So setting up a business bank account is actually a lot easier than you may think. And I've talked about this in a previous video, but I'll quickly summarize the steps right now. I typically recommend step number 1, create a business plan. Now, most banks don't require a business plan, but it is useful if you are trying to secure funding. Step number 2, create an operating agreement. This spells out exactly how your business will operate, and the bank may want to include this document when you set up an account. Now, I have a link down in the description below that helps people create a professional business plan and a professional operating agreement using templates so that you don't have to pay an attorney. Step number 3, register your business with your Secretary of State. That's pretty simple. Step number 4, apply for your employer identification number or your EIN. Now, getting an EIN is free and easy, so definitely don't let someone charge you for it. Step number 5, select your bank. Now, once you have selected the bank, I like to set up an appointment so that a specialist can walk you through exactly how their bank works regarding their minimums, their fees, and other benefits and perks. During the appointment, the bank will usually request documents from steps 1 to 4, so you'll also want to print out your business plan, your articles of incorporation, your EIN, and other relevant documents and bring those in with you. From there, you have everything that is required to set up your business bank account. Now, let's talk about which ones you need with number 3, the different types of business bank accounts. So there are generally 5 to 6 business bank accounts that every entrepreneur should at least consider. And I'm going to quickly go through each one of these. So the first account, which is something you've probably already guessed, is number 1, a business checking account. However, there are some differences between a personal checking account and a business checking account. For example, most checking accounts are usually free, while on the other hand, business checking accounts typically have monthly maintenance fees and require a higher minimum balance. However, this is a small expense when you compare it to how much time and hassle you will be saving yourself based on the reasons that we covered earlier. Okay, another major pro of having a business checking account is that it strengthens your LLC or your limited liability protection because, okay, here's the deal. When you commingle your personal and business finances, it can blur the line between, okay, what is a personal asset and then what is a business asset. And so if your business were to get sued, then a court or a creditor can go after those assets if they are not clearly separated. Luckily, if you have a business checking account that you use solely for business purposes, you can avoid that happening to you. The next account we need to talk about is number 2, a business saving account. So a business saving account is perhaps even more important than a personal saving account because business revenue can fluctuate a lot based on current seasons, the current advertising spend you have, and even current economic market conditions. And so a major pro of having a business saving account is that it can allow you to stay afloat during slow times, slow seasons, or handle unexpected business expenses. Another fantastic thing about having a business saving account is that it typically earns higher interest rates than other personal and business accounts. And remember, you're going to have to make quarterly estimated payments. And so having a saving account is a great way to set money aside for when it's time to pay taxes. On the other side, these type of accounts typically have tighter restrictions, such as limiting how many transactions you can have and even requiring a higher minimum balance. Now, if you'd like to see me make a video on the specific banks that I would recommend, just tell me down in the comment section below, and if enough people comment, then I'll consider making a video. Now, the next business bank account I want to talk about is very important if you expect to take credit card and debit card purchases from your customers, which is number 3, a merchant account. This account is a secure place where money is deposited and held temporarily while banks check to ensure the transactions are good to clear. This is very different from a business checking account because you cannot deposit or withdraw money freely from a merchant account. So if you have an e-commerce store or some type of physical location, you'll need a merchant account in addition to a regular business bank account in order to accept credit card payments. Also, many merchants offer your customers purchase protection to give your customers even more confidence that their financial information is secure. Now, the major con of a merchant account is that you will have additional transaction fees, such as credit card processing fees. So most debit and credit card companies will have a flat transaction fee based on the total transaction amount. Now, the business is typically the one that pays these transaction fees, but something that I like to do is pass on these fees to my customers or clients during invoicing, or push people to use ACH bank payments to avoid these credit card processing fees. But at the end of the day, you are in business to make money, and whatever the customer feels most comfortable paying with is the one that you want to be able to accept. Moving on to bank account number 4, I have a transfer account. Now, this is something that I have personally and I like to use for my business because, okay, sometimes in business, you may have to give someone your bank account information, your account number, your routing number, and so on. Now, I don't know what hackers are capable of these days, so I use this account for security purposes in order to handle wires, deposits, and paying certain people without having to give them the main bank account information. So of course, the major pro here is I think you get a little bit more security when you are giving someone your bank account information. And of course, the con is you have another bank account that you have to deal with and you may have to pay maintenance fees on. Moving on to bank account number 5, I have business CDs and MMAs. So a business CD is a certificate of deposit account which allows you to earn more interest on your money as long as you don't touch it for a specific period of time, usually ranging from a few months to a few years. A business MMA is a money market account which combines the benefits of a saving account with a checking account, and it also typically pays a higher interest rate on your money. So both of these accounts are alternatives to a business saving account where the major pro would be you earn a higher interest on any excess capital you have, with some accounts offering 3% interest. So for example, if you had $100,000 in a CD, that could earn you $3,000 a year just by holding your money in that account. Of course, the major con of this is there are more restrictions on your transactions. You may have to lock your money up. There are higher minimum deposits and other associated fees. For those reasons, I don't personally have a business CD or MMA account because I am constantly seeking ways to invest into business and earn a higher return on those investments. But look, I would get an MMA if I needed to save up for a particular business asset, like a piece of business equipment or a business program that I knew without question I would want to buy. Now, the next business bank account I briefly want to talk about is number 6, a foreign currency account. These accounts allow business owners to easily handle international business transactions by accepting multiple currencies inside the account. This is especially ideal for companies that are importing or exporting goods and often send and receive funds from other countries. Now, the major con of this is that the value of the money can fluctuate based on economic conditions. Now, this type of account is usually not necessary for many new business owners, so we'll go ahead and move on to the fourth part of this video and talk about number 4, how to choose the right bank account for you. When you are shopping for business bank accounts, you will come across many different options, but here's some of the things you want to make sure you're paying the most attention to. Okay, you'll want to look at the bank's locations and ATM network, because there are going to be times where you're going to need some quick cash, especially if you have a physical location. You'll also want to look at if the bank has any current bonuses or promotions going on for new business owners, because some banks will offer sign-on bonuses, for example. Next, you'll definitely want to pay close attention to any maintenance fees or minimum balance accounts that the bank requires to avoid additional associated fees. Another big one that I have come to appreciate a lot is mobile banking and apps. I almost always check my accounts and handle my transactions on my phone, so I definitely like to look if the bank has a robust mobile experience. Also, check to see if the bank offers overdraft protection services or other important benefits. Lastly, make sure you check if the bank has any limit on transactions, because sometimes banks will start charging additional fees after you reach a certain amount of transactions within that account. Now, there are definitely other factors that you want to take a look at, but these are the 6 or 7 that will definitely help you get close to making a good decision. Now, since you made it this far in the video, here's a very important note, because I see so many new entrepreneurs make this mistake. Okay, most businesses are structured as pass-through entities such as an LLC. This means that all profits that are made flow down through the business and to the individual business owner. And that's important to know when you are managing your cash flow and handling your taxes. For example, let's say you have a single member LLC and your business earns $100,000 in profits. Okay, not revenue, but profits. And let's say you left $100,000 in profits in your business bank account and you never moved them to your personal account. Well, look, even though the profits never move the accounts, for tax purposes, you as the individual will still need to pay taxes on that $100,000 in income, because the profits flow through to you as an individual on your personal tax return. So it's not about how the money transfers, but rather how much profits the business made in a given tax year, especially when you have a pass-through entity like a LLC, sole proprietorship, or even an S corporation. Okay, I hope all this was helpful. If you have any feedback, please don't hesitate to share them with me down in the comment section below, and I'll try to get back to every single comment. Coming up next, I have 2 more videos that you may enjoy as well, so check those out if you haven't already, and I'll see you over there.